Harrisburg hypocrisy.
Would you let someone else cast your ballot for President of the United States?
No. They make your laws, but some state representatives are still breaking their own rules.
The NBC 10 investigators first exposed ghost voting in Pennsylvania's Capitol back in February, but it happened again on the very first day of the fall session.
And this time, investigative reporter George Spencer finally got leaders to promise they'll make changes.
We're looking for the state representative.
State Representative Leslie Acosta seems to be in hiding. Her face is all over this North Philadelphia office. But NBC 10's cameras haven't seen her in person since last January, shortly after we discovered a House colleague casting votes in her name while she says she was out of the country. Now we discovered it happening again on September 19th, the master roll call and 3 back-to-back votes cast in Acosta's name, even though she hasn't actually been on the House floor since word surfaced over the summer of her guilty plea in this federal money laundering case. Acosta admitted that she conspired to help her former boss at this West Kensington clinic conceal financial theft. Minority Leader Frank Dermody is responsible for tracking Democrats' attendance.
So we went down to the floor. I was told she was here.
Did someone lie? Did someone make that up?
A staffer made a mistake. I don't know where. I don't remember where it came from.
Because she definitely wasn't here.
That's correct.
We wanted to show you the entire process of voting on the House floor, to demonstrate how members break their own rules by casting votes for absent colleagues. But the process turned out to be less transparent than we expected. Just to get a camera on the House floor, we had to fill out a form telling the sergeants at arms what we wanted to shoot.
This spot outside the outer lobby is the closest I can be recorded on camera as a reporter. House security guards specifically told our crew to never zoom in on members pressing their vote buttons and to never record the vote tally board.
NBC Philadelphia.
And before we start shooting, an announcement is made telling House members we're recording.
So she's gonna go with you?
Sure. Once on the floor, a security guard tailed our every step to enforce those rules. And after a strict 10 minutes, she said our time was up. So your lawmakers may ghost vote largely out of sight. It's a violation that casts doubt on the official record of the House of Representatives.
So how is there any accountability in this system?
As soon as we found out that she wasn't here, she was placed on leave.
But we have votes on the record for somebody who wasn't there.
A mistake was made.
Preventing a, quote, mistake like that in the future requires the leadership of both parties to change House rules together.
So if we could do this quickly, it'd be great.
So we tracked down the Republican Majority Leader, Representative Dave Reed, also. And after first saying he'd, quote, consider changes, we pressed for a firm commitment.
Will you commit to bringing up changes to House rules to address this?
George, as I said 3 times already, we're willing to consider those changes.
I'm
Absolutely.
asking if you'll do it.
I just said yes.
What can you do to change this practice moving forward?
I think we'll talk. I'm not exactly sure how we can do that, but if there's a rule change that makes sense, that can make this
Will
system better.
you support such a rule change?
Well, sure. Sure.
Acosta hasn't responded to our request for an interview, and she may be gone before the promised changes take effect in the 2017 session. House rules dictate that she'll likely be removed from office at her sentencing in January. But for the 13 million Pennsylvania constituents represented on the state floor, we'll be watching. In Harrisburg, for the investigators, George Spencer, NBC 10 News.
And you can read how the NBC 10 investigators first exposed ghost voting. Tap the NBC 10 app to read George's reports that followed the investigation for months.